By the way, shout out to, I don't know where this clip originated. It looks like it was this Inspector Pikachu YouTube channel. I guess that's the official channel, I guess. But this right here, um, this wasn't in the movie at all. So I was kind of hoping it was. By the way, before I get started, there might be some. We're just gonna talk about the movie today. There might be some light spoilers. I'm not gonna spoil anything too big, but some light spoilers. Like for example, like this wasn't in the movie, and I was kind of hoping it was. This is such an awesome clip. I thought he was gonna have a little workout tape going. But yeah, we'll go ahead and put this in the background here. This will be like our little full screen Pikachu dance going. Never get tired of it. Yeah, I can hear you. If even this stream came out of nowhere for me. I just scheduled it last night, so I wouldn't be surprised you missed it. Can't hear the video if it was making noise. It's just music in the background. I just have it on low volume since most of this is just going to be us talking anyway. And I feel weird with that headset because I'm used to wearing headphones on stream, but there's no real reason to because there's no game I'm playing. It was leaked footage. I'm cool with light spoilers for this movie. So, who here has seen Detective Pikachu already? I saw it last night. Finally, oh, was that the video? What was that video? Have it sent to my sister and husband? Just go on YouTube and type in Pikachu dancing. It's going to come up. Apparently, I just checked my account and seen that there are somehow 3 people subbed to me. I'm becoming famous. Nice. I did. Okay, so Stark has seen Pikachu. Yoshi's seen it. Doesn't the duck look like Sonic but blue and fat? Yeah. Did you get the promo card? No, I didn't get... You got promo cards? I didn't get anything at my theater. That's why your head looks smaller, thank you. Yeah, it's the headphones. Not yet. Won't watch until after I see Endgame. Alright, so again, one last time, there might be some light spoilers. I'm not going to spoil any real major plot points. I might talk about some of the important stuff, but no like surprise twist because there's a couple twists in the movie that, in my opinion, well, I won't say anything about spoiling it, but there's a couple plot twists in the movie that you kind of don't see coming. So I'm not really going to go into those. Have not seen it yet. I watched Shazam and Avengers second time this weekend. I got coffee drinking Pikachu and Bulbasaur. They gave us trading cards. They gave out a small... Oh, see, my theater... I went to an AMC theater. They weren't giving any... Actually, you know what? They were giving Avengers Endgame posters. So I got an Avengers Endgame poster at a Detective Pikachu movie. There was no Detective Pikachu stuff given. That sucks. But yeah, finally, we have a movie based on a video game. And mind you, I think there have been some okay video game movies. Prince of Persia I really enjoy. The last Tomb Raider movie, the reboot, wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good either. You know, it's a shame because, like, with video game movies, I feel like that's the best we get is a movie that doesn't suck. We never get video game movies that are good. Except, and I'm talking about nowadays, like, back in the 90s, like, Mortal Kombat I thought was genuinely good. This movie kind of... I don't want to get started with that yet, but it's good. Finally, we have a movie that is based on a video game that I can actually say it was good. Like, I don't just say, like, it was okay or the movie sucked. Like, it was actually good. Like, it's up there. Like, it's the example on how to make a video game movie. And I told this to my buddy, and he didn't really understand what I mean because he's not an Assassin's Creed fan, but it reminded me of the Assassin's Creed movie for one reason. It's a movie that was made where you don't really explain origins. Like, they're not explaining what Pokemon are, where they came from. None of that. It already understands its fan base, you know? So if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, you went to an Assassin's Creed movie, and it was part of the game universe, you're already familiar with it. Whereas if you're just someone that doesn't know anything about it, if you're one of the general audiences, you're not going to enjoy it. With this movie, that's what it kind of reminded me of, where... it knows its fan base. It knows its audience. But the difference is, if you go in and you don't know anything about Pokemon, you can still enjoy this one. So it's the perfect example of how to make a video game movie today. Like, hold on, let me catch up to my comments here. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I watched rental reviews of James AVGN, and they said they got the promo cards. Damn, man, that's really upsetting because I wanted stuff. I haven't seen the rental review. I love rental reviews, but I don't watch movie reviews for movies that I'm going to talk about because I don't want to get, like, subconsciously influenced by other people's comments. But they did nod to the old cartoon and games a few times. Yes. One thing I am about to say that it's kind of a spoiler. So I'm going to say one thing. If you don't want, and it's kind of a major, it's a big part of the story. But I wouldn't say it's really a spoiler because it's one of those things where if you're not paying attention closely, you'll miss it. So if you don't want any possible spoilers, mute it, cover your ears for like the next 30 seconds or so. Everyone knows that Mewtwo is in it from the trailers. In the movie, and when I saw my friend, he missed this completely. So it's a real quick scene where if you're not listening, you're going to miss that they say that this Mewtwo is the same one from the animated movie, the original animated movie. It's the same Mewtwo because they mentioned that he escaped from the Kanto region 20 years ago. That blew my mind on so many levels. That's what I mean. They're taking this game universe and putting it on screen, but it's in the same universe. It blew my mind. But yeah, like I said, that's the end of the spoiler, which it's really not that big of a spoiler because it's a real quick line they say in the movie where if you're not paying attention, it's going to go right over your head. But it's linked. It's the same universe. Nice, that's awesome. Spoilers ended. Oh, thank you, Rogue Dragon. Appreciate that for people that are trying to avoid spoilers. That's the most spoiler-ish I'm going to get during this review because everything else in the movie that is spoiler-worthy, it's pretty important plot points. I actually took some notes because I didn't want to forget stuff, but I'll get to those. Thick thighs save lives if thighs aren't thick enough. Hashtag not my spoiler character. That Mewtwo was the best villain in all Pokemon? Yes. Can I give a small spoiler? Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Stark. Like I said, from me, there's just going to be very light spoilers. You guys can talk about whatever you want in the chat. It's the weekend after the movie came out already, and it's not like a big endgame release or anything, so... And the spoilers aren't that big of a deal in this movie, but there are some plot twists in it. They brought up the anime. Yes, and then they allude to the theme song also. But one thing I really like, the humor. The humor was on point for this movie. Because it's the kind of thing where the movie's for kids, right? Yes and no. That's what I loved about it. Because typically Pokemon is a kid's thing. There's Nintendo fans, old farts like me that grew up with Pokemon when it started. I'm all about Red and Blue and Gen 2, and then after that's kind of where I don't know much about it. But I was super into Red and Blue. But it's the kind of movie where you could take kids to, and they're going to laugh their asses off through the movie. But as an adult, you're going to be able to enjoy it because they have a couple of adult jokes in there that will fly over kids' heads, but nothing inappropriate, but just adult enough for an adult to be like, wow, that's hilarious, and kids aren't really going to understand it. And it's funny because, I found this article online. Let's go ahead and minimize this real quick. I found this article online, right before we started, and apparently Nintendo is kind of iffy on... There's this scene where it's really quick, it's not a big deal, where the kid's on a train, and he sees Licky Tongue, and it licks his face. That's it. That's the whole thing. But apparently, the Pokemon Company doesn't... Hold on, where is it? Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Here it is. The Pokemon Company wasn't a big fan of this scene. That's one where we got right up to the edge of what they would be comfortable with. And it's such a nothing... And it goes to show how, I think it's a cultural thing. How Nintendo is being so... careful about how they're being represented, but it's not inappropriate. He licks his face and he's like, is this anyone's licky tongue? And there's slobber coming off his face, but Nintendo was really iffy about that scene. They weren't sure if they were okay with that. I hope when I die see Pikachu when I die dancing like that. So that's what I mean. And also Mr. Mime, he was such a highlight of this movie. And mind you, the scenes that you see him in the trailer, that's really the only part of the movie he's in. He's a small part of the movie, but he's absolutely hilarious. And in this article, they mentioned him too. They asked the Pokemon Company about Mr. Mime and what he is, and they didn't give any info. They just said, we don't know. So no one knows what the hell Mr. Mime is. So they just did whatever they wanted to. Mr. Mime was hilarious. Wouldn't it be equivalent to being licked by a dog? Exactly. Exactly, Nataki, you put that a good way, because it is like getting, because Pokemon, what are they, right? They're like animals in that universe, you know? So it is like getting licked by a dog. I don't understand what's offensive that. Yet they were okay with the Mario Brothers show. That's weird considering the Pokemon original opening theme is haunted licking Charmander. Yes, yes. Now, another thing I want to talk about is all the Pokemon you see. There are so many. I actually want to watch this movie again just to see a bunch, because me and my buddies were talking about it after the movie, and there's so many they saw that I didn't catch, and vice versa. Like, there's so much to see. The whole movie is filled with them. Okay, real question. Who would be your Pokemon partner? I'm going to get into that. Mine is definitely Cubone or Slowpoke. Gengar. Gengar is my favorite Pokemon of all time. I don't even know why. Just the fact that he's a little fat purple ghost. I think he's so cool. And I was like, if he is not in the movie, I'm going to hate this movie. I don't care how good the rest of it is. They show him. They show him. It's real quick. He's fighting. Oh, man. Who was he fighting? Blastoise. I think it was Blastoise. See, now it's fuzzy because I was so excited about Gengar. But he was fighting Blastoise in that scene in the trailer where you see Pikachu and Charizard fighting. And I thought of Mortal Kombat 11. Because in Mortal Kombat 11, if you guys saw my stream with story mode, they're like in that underground Black Dragon fight club. And it reminds me of that. He just gets roped in like some underground like illegal fight. Are there ghost Pokemon? Well, that answers your question. The only one I saw was Gengar. I don't know if the others made an appearance. If they did, I didn't catch that. But I noticed a couple things that were different in the trailer too. In the trailer, that scene where Pikachu's like flying in the air and Charizard's like about to chomp him, that's not even in the movie. Like, those are two different shots that they just kind of mesh together. I gotta go Charizard just since he was my first actual Pokemon. If I remember correctly, Lickitung Lick Attack paralyzed the opponent. Oh, that didn't happen in this. What else was I gonna talk about? Oh my god. Psyduck. Everyone's talking about how Pikachu... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me... Oh, by the way, also, these... I'm not familiar with this Pokemon. That was after my red and blue time. Ludred... forgive me if I mispronounce that. These were awesome. They're in the whole like underground fight club area, and they're playing some loud club music. And these guys are the equivalents of like the loud speakers that are in the club, and everyone's like cheering and dancing. I thought it was hilarious. But that's the genius of this movie. A lot of these Pokemon that you just see in the background, they find like real life roles for them to play. So like he's a speaker in a nightclub. Like it's so entertaining. I can't recommend this movie enough. And mind you, the story's good, but it's not. I mean, you can't expect anything like fucking like Lord of the Rings style. You know, it's not gonna be this big epic. It's a very simple story with a couple plot twists. Some you see coming, some you don't. It's very simple and easy to follow. Psyduck looks like he's seen some things. Yeah, Psyduck. That's what I wanted to get to because everyone knows Ryan Reynolds' Pikachu ended up being amazing. If you saw the trailers, you get that in the movie and just more of that for like an hour and 40 minutes. But Psyduck is so awesome. There's this girl in the movie who I think she's in the trailers, the girl character that's with him. Mind you, I'm not familiar with Detective Pikachu. I just realized that the kid has the same name as the kid in the game. I haven't actually played the game myself, but it follows Rhyme City. The kid's name, what, Tim, I think he was. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but it's pronounced Loudred. Well, that one. Of course, a yellow fuzzy teddy bear that farts lightning would naturally be a detective, of course. But Ryan Reynolds, he nailed the role as Pikachu, as Detective Pikachu. Completely believable. But there's a girl that's basically... She's Movie Misty, I called her. I don't even remember her name. I called her Movie Misty the whole time. She's a redheaded girl that goes on the adventure with him. She's also got a Psyduck. She's also attitudey. So, she's Movie Misty. But Psyduck is hilarious. Like, he's like a little baby. And then Pikachu is like aghast. Hold on, let me see if I find the what was it? Well, no, I'll probably leave it without a trailer. I don't want to get copyright claimed by a trailer. But in the trailer, you see the part where Pikachu and Psyduck are sitting next to each other in the car, and they got Pikachu in a little baby seat. He's bitching the whole time that he's sitting next to Psyduck, because apparently Psyducks, those things are crazy, and if they get stressed out, they explode. I laugh my ass off, because most of the movie, with the scenes with Psyduck, you're on the edge of your seat thinking that this thing's going to go insane because it's constantly getting stressed. And in that scene in the trailer, when it just explodes and like it creates this giant energy blast, it was just stressed out too much. So when they're in the car, they got to play this spa music to keep the side duck calm. It was the funniest shit. I was sitting there in the theater in tears just laughing because Pikachu's just panicked in his baby seat next to the side duck that needs spa music so it doesn't explode from stress. Did you get my drawing? That's a small spoiler. Actually, no. On Twitter, I didn't look at it yet, but I'll take a look after the stream. Come on, people! It's obvious that Pikachu singing the original song from the anime is the best. Yes, and another thing, there's a news network in the show or in the movie called CNM or something. Obviously, a play on CNN, but more importantly, they're like news. Like I don't even know what to call it. Like their news intro music is the Pokemon music. It was amazing. They try to talk to me all day. They hear his Pika Pika. Pikachu has to rub Psyduck's feet. I forgot about that. Yeah, he has to massage his feet to keep Psyduck calm. And also another thing is the visuals. As far as from a visual point of view, the Pokemon look great. They look real. I mean, some of them. Mr. Mime obviously looks CG, but that's to be expected. But the police station name is Oak. Yes, I did notice that. It's Oak. There's a lot of references to the anime and just Pokemon universe in general. But, oh, right. That's what I was talking about. As far as the visuals go, it's not just the Pokemon that look really impressive. There's the scene where, and this isn't a spoiler, but there's a scene where it looks like they're outside and just everything's just collapsing. And it's like something out of Godzilla. There's these giant Pokemon. I don't know what they're called. Someone named them. They're these turtles. They're like a turtle Tortuga or something. I know that's turtle in Spanish, but that's not what they were called. There's a scene where there's like giant ones coming out of the ground, and it's like they spent a nice little budget on this movie because I didn't expect such good CG in this movie. There was a Jigglypuff singing and getting mad. Are all of the police women named Jenny? I didn't notice that. Actually, the only police person I noticed was the Asian guy, the Japanese guy from Godzilla, Ken Watanabe. He's the only other like police person in the movie that I know of. Torterra, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yep, Torterra. That's exactly what I'm talking about. When you see them in the movie, they're really cool. I went opening night. It diverts from the game. How sad that this movie is a better noir than Blade Runner 2049. It was better shot, better colors, being muted in Cyberpunk Neon, the shot and film. I agree with that, Mercenary. As far as, although I don't know if it's better than Blade Runner 2049 because I've had that movie for months and I still haven't seen it, so I can't judge it. But it is. It's very like techno noir, like futuristic. But just the shots in the movie. It's not just a Pokemon movie. It was a well-made movie in general. It just happened to be in this ridiculous universe full of little creatures. And then there's a little Cubone too. Like the first intro of the movie, the Cubone scene. That's all I gotta say. It's the Cubone scene. I love it. There's all kinds of little inside jokes that. Oh God, the Magikarp. There's all kinds of jokes that longtime Pokemon fans that are adults that'll fly right over kids' heads, like different memes and everything. Like with Magikarp, everyone knows Magikarp's the worst, and Pikachu makes fun of it. He like throws a Magikarp and it doesn't do anything, and then it just like turns into what is it, Gyarados? I think he was called. It's just such an epic scene. I laugh my ass off because any fan will know it's gonna happen because everyone knows that Magikarp is like the worst Pokemon ever, but turns into one of the best. Turtwig is my favorite starter. The Tims are not the same, similar. Oh, really? They're not the same character? I haven't played Detective Pikachu the game, but I looked it up and they have the same name. Tortuga, yeah, Turtwig. Oh, I read that already. This movie racist because it's only using Asian and Black. What they're slates. Don't start that here. I wish we could see a bit more like Ninetales. I don't think there was a Ninetales at all in it. I don't remember seeing one. I know some of the other ones I saw, there was a Flareon. You see an Eevee. There's so many. There's so many. There's Bulbasaurs. There's Blastoise. Like one part in the parade, they're like setting up a parade, and you see different Pokemon like working in the parade. Like the Blastoise are like pulling balloons in. It's so badass. I do like me too. Glad to see there are others with good tats here. It is leagues better than 2049. If you like Blade Runner, don't watch 2049. Yeah, thank you, Yoshi. This is no place for racial jokes and such. Magikarp's evolution was from the MacGuffin. They could honestly make a cinematic universe with this. From what I saw online, they're already planning to. Because they went and mined. Let me see if I can find this article. There's this article where they were talking about a Smash Brothers movie. Let's see if I can find it. Which, mind you, it's not confirmed. Like, they're not saying it's going to happen. But apparently the writers, like, in their head, had a lot of ideas when they were making this movie on, like, how to do a Smash Brothers movie. And, okay, here it is. Can you... Oh, wait a minute. It's on my other screen. Right here. We need red. No way. Yeah, look. It's kind of clickbaity articles. Like, Detective Pikachu writers are interested in a Smash Brothers movie. It's kind of clickbaity because they're not saying, like, they're interested in making one, but they were thinking of different ideas. A couple things stood out for me here that I really like if they do this, because this movie is... To me, it was less of, should we make more Pokemon movies? To me, it was more of a test of, do we make more Nintendo movies? Because everyone knows Pokemon's going to make money, right? Just on name alone. But the fact that they made a Pokemon movie that actually was good, this is going to open the door for Nintendo to see that there's potential with other properties of theirs. So, one thing I really like about this is the directors are talking about... I don't even know if it's the directors. Who said this? The writers. Let me see, where did I read it? Yeah, writer Dan Hernandez explained, I think the key to doing anything like this is to make sure the other introductory movies are sensational. It'd be a dream to write something like Legend of Zelda, but before you can get to that Smash Brothers stage, you have to write the best damn version of the Legend of Zelda that you possibly can. And the same with Mario, same with Kirby, same with Star Fox. Fox. I love this. I love what he said right here. Because, A, it makes me happy that they're following the Marvel example of develop all your individual characters and stories first. And then, you know, maybe there's a possibility we'll get something like that in the future. But, you know, the mentality, this is the correct mentality to have right here. It just makes me so angry. I don't want to get off topic, but it makes me angry thinking about the DC Comics movies. The fact that they did not do that. I won't get started on that because this is talking about Detective Pikachu, but that's how you make a universe. So this movie is going to make money. It's getting good reviews. It's getting good fan feedback. It's going to get a sequel. And Mario's already in the works. DreamWorks and Illumination are doing that. They're doing an animated one. So that means we're going to get more Nintendo movies at this point. It's just a matter of one. I'd watch the hell out of a Legend of Zelda movie. Not sure how they deal with Link, though. I don't know. You know what I would want to see in a Legend of Zelda movie? I don't want them to base it off any specific game. I want them to do their own story, because that's what every game is, right? It's a new Link, a new storyline that happens to be another Link in another time. So do whatever you want. It'll just be another version of Link's story, another Link. That's what I want to see. I wanted to have a Lord of the Rings epic feel. Star Fox was a totally different movie. Think about it this way. They did a video game movie that doesn't suck. Yeah. And that's how I started the stream. That's why I wanted to say a video game movie doesn't suck, but more than that, it's actually really good. Totally a completely independent Link and Zelda. Yeah, that's what they need to do. And, like, for example, you can't do a movie for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Fans are going to judge it too harshly one way or the other, because they're going to want it to be exactly like the game. And then some people are going to think it's too different than the game. Others will think it's too similar to the game. So just stay away from the game and make your own thing. Which is kind of what this movie does with the game as a backdrop. Because it's not the exact story as the Detective Pikachu one, but you're still in Rhyme City. You're still in the Pokemon universe. They allude to the original Pokemon anime movie. Legend of Zelda movie shouldn't be too hard. Without the gameplay, it's another fantasy movie like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. Right, exactly. It's not a hard thing to do. They just need to do a good job on it. Establish that there's a legend of heroes, but no details. Right, and that's what the games do. It's always the legend of the whatever hero, whatever which one they're describing at the time. The credits roll was really good too. The art in the background and how they use classic animation was so cool. Yep. Do you think that'd be cool if... Oh, wait a minute, I skipped one. No more timeline to hinder imagination of the filmmakers? See, but that's the thing. If they did a Zelda movie, and I know it's a little off topic because it's Zelda, but whatever, it's on Nintendo. If they did a Zelda movie, I think they still can work with the whole timeline thing because it can be... And I go back to the Assassin's Creed movie. It takes place within a specific point in the video game universe. But it doesn't affect anything else. So you could still do a Zelda movie and have it placed somewhere in the timeline. Not that it matters, but it can take place anywhere in the timeline and it wouldn't really affect anything. Because realistically, the timeline's kind of BS, right? Nintendo just made it up over time. You can pluck any game out of the timeline. Well, some games you can just pluck right out of a timeline, and it won't affect the others around it because they're individual stories. Metroid could make a good movie if they did it right. Yes, it would. I don't know what kind of Metroid movie. I'm trying to think of a movie I would like, or that I could compare to Metroid. Because it can't be something like overly scary like Alien, you know, but I wanted to have a more serious tone compared to other properties. Do you think it'd be cool if they decided to go with a modern setting? Some people would probably enjoy it. With Zelda, I wouldn't like that, but I can kind of see... If you look at the concept art and ideas that Nintendo was throwing around with Breath of the Wild, that's exactly what they were thinking of. They were thinking of making a modernized one, which is why you have Link on a motorcycle in the DLC. That was from the original concept art where they were throwing in ideas and making like a more modern day Link. So that's not an unheard of idea that has actually come straight from Nintendo. Make Link as blank slate, honorable, noble, but any kid. One thing that'd be weird about a Zelda movie is having Link talk, because that's something you have to tackle in the movie. He can't just be like, just making sounds the whole time. All this talking does makes me want to go see the movie again. I actually might go see the movie again because I took my son. My daughter's too young to see movies. She won't stay still for the whole time. She'll be running around trying to get away from us. But my son loved it. I might actually steal my niece from my sister and go watch it, because I actually just want to watch it again. Maybe both Link and Zelda seeking out a different Triforce to challenge Ganon together. I wish they made a Punch-Out movie. Yeah, Punch-Out would be cool, but it would kind of just be Rocky all over again. Let me look at my notes real quick to see what else. I think I talked about most of the major things I wanted to. Just overall the humor. Like, just the fact that an adult can watch this movie and sit through it, and it's not overly kiddie. And they're already planning to make a sequel to this movie. Based on the ending, though, I don't know if it's... And I'm not saying any spoilers either, but I don't know if it's going to be the same. You know, because there's something in this movie... That's too much of a spoiler. Forget my point there. I don't know where they're going to be headed with a sequel. Because if they do a sequel, I'll leave it at this. If they do a sequel, it's going to be very different from this one in terms of what this one advertised itself as. And, you know, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Well, it would probably be not too hard if you consider that the speech bubbles are him talking. Yeah, that's true. But usually the speech bubbles don't revolve around Link. It's other people telling him things. My father, who had almost no experience of Pokemon, really liked it. He did say that he wanted to see a bit more combat. Yeah, and that's where I think if they do a sequel to Detective Pikachu, that's something I would like to see more of. Because this Pikachu, he doesn't really fight. In the movie, he actually mentions he forgot how to use his powers, because he's not a fighting Pokemon. He's like a little detective partner of a human detective. So it makes sense. But it was nice getting a little piece of the Pokemon like fighting universe with the underground cage matches and stuff. And the reason they don't fight is because in Rhyme City, I don't know if it's like this in the game, but in the movie it's supposed to be like a utopia where Pokemon and humans are together, and the Pokemon aren't used to battle. It's actually illegal in that world. Over there, they live and work alongside humans. The movie gave me Pokemon Mystery Dungeon vibes at the end. I haven't played Mystery Dungeon. That one, there's no humans in that, right? Don't you just play as the Pokemon? He's like Meowth, used all his XP to learn how to talk. Yeah, and they actually, one thing I didn't realize they were going to do, they actually explain why he talks. And I did not see it coming. But it's a very clever story. Like I said, in the game, I don't know what the story... In the game, anyone that's familiar with it, I know he talks in the game, but do they explain why? Or is he just a talking Pikachu in the game? Was Ash in the movie? No, Ash was not in the movie. I was waiting for him to show up. But to be fair, when this movie takes place in the universe, Ash would probably be unrecognizable. He would probably be a grown man. Because this movie alludes to the fact that it takes place in the Pokemon universe and like 20 years later. So I don't know where Ash is. So Ryan Reynolds was a perfect casting choice. Yes. And that's one thing. Like, Ryan Reynolds is hilarious. Everyone knows that. For the most part. He's hilarious in most of his roles. He's had some hit or misses. As Pikachu, when they first announced it, I was like, I don't know. But the trailer sold me on it. When you watch the movie, sometimes I didn't even, like when you watch a Jim Carrey movie, you just can't help, or I think Will Smith is a better example. When you watch a Will Smith movie, it's hard to separate Will Smith from the character. Like, you're just Will Smith. With Detective Pikachu, you hear Ryan Reynolds, but like through the movie, I didn't even think about that. He was just a cute little talking, sarcastic Pikachu that I wanted. So that's all he was. Yes, no humans. Mewtwo gave him the ability to speak in the game. Oh, okay. So the movie does follow a similar plot line then. But like I said, there's a lot of twists and turns in the storyline that go into way more detail than that. I kind of want the Danny DeVito version of Pikachu. I've seen people have done like YouTube mashups where they take Danny DeVito's voice and put it over Pikachu. It's absolutely hilarious. It's creepy yet intriguing. Well, he's an artificial Pokemon, so maybe scientists made him so he can talk. Speaking of Jim Carrey, he's going to carry Sonic. Yeah, I agree with that. I gotta say, let me get into Sonic real quick. I gotta say, with that movie, I think it's gonna make money. I think everyone's in agreement that movie is probably gonna suck. Sonic looks atrocious. I'm not gonna get into all that because they're changing him. He might look better at the end, but they knew how they were marketing that movie. They knew there was gonna be a loud, coverage about that movie. But putting Jim Carrey in there guarantees that at least all those old 90s kids, and the way he acts like Dr. Robotnik in that movie, he's basically 90s Jim Carrey. That is Jim Carrey at his best. All us 90s kids are going to watch it just because of that. It doesn't even matter about Sonic at that point. So, yeah, Jim Carrey, he's going to make that movie. Definitely. That's true, Gabby. I'm going to go just to see his performance. Yep, see? And you're not the only one, Javier. Like, me too. Like, I'd probably see it anyway, just because I like watching video game movies, because every once in a while we strike gold, like this movie. I'll go on a limb and say this movie is gold. Like, it's a gold star. I don't like giving numbers. It's 4 Pikachus out of 5. I'll say that. Because it wasn't perfect. Overall the plot was really simple. And near the end it gets really ridiculous. And the third act of the movie, like near the end, the final battle, whatever you want to call it, it almost felt like a different movie. Like it starts like, it's like it goes from like a detective story, like, I need to solve this crime, I need to figure out what happened, to the whole world's at stake, Detective Pikachu's got to save it. So, but it was fun. I didn't expect anything. I'd probably critique it harsher if it was anything but Pokemon. And that's one critique of the movie. It relies heavily on the fact that it's Pokemon, and it knows it is. And it knows people are going to watch it regardless. So with some movies like this, it doesn't matter. It's just a really fun time. My idea for a sequel would be Rhyme City is hosting the Pokemon equivalent of the Olympics, but for Pokemon battles, and one of the teams is trying to sabotage the games. That's not a bad idea. 90s Jim Carrey can't carry a whole movie on his own. Yeah, but he's enough to get people's asses in the seat, though. That's where I'm getting at. Whether he can carry the movie or not, I don't know. Can 90s Jim Carrey get people to go buy a Sonic the Hedgehog ticket? Absolutely. How many lightning farts said? Is that Ash's Pikachu? No. He is actually, and this isn't really a spoiler because they say it literally right at the beginning of the movie, and it's the smallest part of the plot, but the kid's looking for his dad because he had an accident, and that's his dad's Pikachu. So the whole movie is just him and the Pikachu trying to figure out what happened. Is his dad dead? Is his dad alive? What caused the car accident? So it goes from like, and that's where the noir aspect comes. It's like a big detective story where he's trying to find clues. I like that they played up that angle because it's not just Detective Pikachu in name. It's actually a detective movie with a little mouse that's electric. Act 3 felt a bit too cringy, but it was still entertaining cringe. Yeah, and that's what I mean by that. It felt like a different movie. It just completely went off the rails with ridiculousness. But at that point, you kind of have to take a step back and remind yourself what you're watching. Because like I said, if it was a more serious movie, I would be like, this didn't make sense, that didn't make sense. But it's no more ridiculous than any Pokemon anime episode or video game. I was hoping for a Team Rocket reference, but I at least I didn't notice any. I didn't notice any Team Rocket references. That was a little disappointing. Dude, so Rhyme City's mayor's son looked like Wesker a few times. I can't picture him in my head. But oh my god, and I gotta say, Ditto. There's a Ditto in this movie. The next 30 seconds are spoilers. So just know that I'm about to say it is a spoiler. Next 30 seconds or so, now. Alright, I've said it. So there's a Ditto in this movie that's one of the villains. And it could turn into people, and when it turns into people, it's got these little black beady eyes. It's horrifying. It's something that when I saw it in the movie, I was like, Jesus. This is like something out of a horror movie. The Ditto in this movie is one of the most terrifying villains in video game movie history. It's got these little beady eyes. It looks like something that will murder you at night. Light spoiler. But yes, end of spoiler. Rogue Dragon, if you'd like to type that for me. Or Demonic Leo, whoever wants to. I'm going to see who in the comments section continues this. Prepare for trouble. Anyone mind telling me when he stops talking about the spoilers? Yeah, done with the spoilers. I thought the R in the tubes were rocket references. Yeah, I mean, they could have been, but it was just, I don't even remember what the R was in the movie. I don't remember what it stood for. You can intro Ash as one of the contestants or anyone from shows and manga while we focus on the plot with Tim and friends. Yeah, that'd be a good way to do a sequel. But I think, this video wasn't meant to be too long anyway. It's more like a review. But how do you guys like this format for new movies? Because I think I want to do this from now on with new movies. Because you guys know I like doing retro movies and doing full reviews and kind of make it comedic and make fun of them a little bit. With new movies, honestly, when I make review, the last one I did was Shazam. When I do reviews on them and I'm just sitting in front of the camera talking about them, it's kind of boring to me, making that kind of video. I don't really have fun doing it. So I wanted to try this with these new movies just to sit back and just talk about it while it's fresh in my mind. Because the next one I'll do after this is Godzilla. Because I'm going to see Godzilla opening freaking night. I can't wait for Godzilla. Every time they show that trailer in the theater, I'm sitting in my seat trying to contain my excitement. Keep the reviews coming. Yeah. So I'm still going to do retro movie reviews the same way I do them. But with these newer movies, instead of doing these pre-recorded ones, I'll probably just talk about them live like this. I think it's a lot more fun having the back and forth with you guys, and there's probably things I forgot about that I'm gonna get off stream and be like, damn, I forgot to talk about that, because I have less time to think about what I want to say. But it's just, seriously, it's a really good movie. If you're not even a Pokemon fan, I would still give it a shot, because you really don't have to be. In all reality, most of the Pokemon they showed are a Pokemon that I don't know. Because like I said, I was a big red and blue kid, and somewhere in between I don't know all those. And those are most of the ones you see in the movie, but the way they use them just makes sense within that world and that universe. If you've got kids, you have to take them, but as a full-grown adult, a full-grown man or woman, you will enjoy this movie. If you watch this movie and don't enjoy it at least in some way, I don't know what kind of movies you enjoy. It's fun. It's a blast. get a giant soda, get a popcorn, and check it out. Now I feel like listening to Team Rocket theme song. We finally got a good video game movie besides MK1. Now we could finally get a good Godzilla video game. There's been a couple good Godzilla games, more bad ones than good. The PS4 one was atrocious. I got it for $12 when it was going for $60, and it's not worth $12. $5 tops. Let me catch some comments here in case I missed any of you guys. A lot of Team Rocket comments. I'm fine with this format. Yeah, like I said, I think it's a lot more fun. It's good to discuss with people that have seen it. Yeah. That's why I want to give warnings to those that haven't seen it. Every once in a while I might talk about a spoiler or whatever, but I think I'll cut it off there. The Mega Man Legends 2 stream. What time is it? 8:40. Give me like 25 minutes. I'm actually going to take a quick shower and then set up the stream, and then I'll finish up Mega Man Legends 2. So if you guys want to hang out today a little bit more, stream's not over yet. Well, this stream is. But I'm going to jump right back into Mega Man Legends 2 and finish that game off. Like I said, I finally found my way. I pulled up a YouTube guide. There was a door that I was walking by and that I just never went into. And when I looked at the map, I didn't walk an inch over, so it never filled in on my map. So when I looked at my map, I didn't see the damn thing. I do still have this problem. If they make another movie of Pokemon, should it be like the anime of the 90s? Or like the OVA Origins that speaks of Red? I don't know, because I like the fact that the sequel is going to be Detective Pikachu. They've already confirmed that. They're working on a sequel to this. But if they do another Pokemon movie, I don't know if I would want it based on Ash or anyone, because we already have that. I kind of like the idea of making the stories within the existing game universe. I think that's where video game movies are going to be best. And again, I know I keep bringing up Assassin's Creed, but that I feel like that movie was the perfect start. Or I feel like that movie was the first one I've seen to do what they did, where they just assume the audience knows the video game universe and pluck a portion of the universe on screen without having just the main people in it. So, I don't know. I kind of want to see that with Pokemon. I don't feel they really need to do a sequel on Ash or Red, although that would be cool to see. I'd welcome it. But just pluck any part of the universe and have a fun story. Sure, I'll watch Mega Man Legends 2. Prepare for trouble, make it double. Sent you a message on Twitter. Alright, yeah. End of review. Great movie. Check it out. Is it the best video game movie of all time? I don't know. I really like Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter's guilty pleasure. But it was fun as hell for adults and kids alike. So I will see you guys in about 20 minutes or so. I'll start up Mega Man Legends 2 and we'll attempt to finish that game. It's the bane of my existence right now. Had fun with you guys. I will catch you soon. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button with all of your strength. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss any new content. You can follow me on social media or go into my community tab for updates. And for as little as $1 a month, you can support the channel directly on Patreon. This is Fabian. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.